Although he may find some degree of pleasure and bliss and joy and happiness in worldly things and things outside of his religion, things outside of remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then the joy that he finds and that pleasure that he experiences, لا يدوم له, is not something that is continuous. It is something that is fleeting. It is momentary. It comes and it goes. It comes and it goes. بل ينتقل من نوع إلى نوع, to the point that he has to go from one category of enjoyment to another category of enjoyment. And he is not always in a state, and he's happy while he's eating, and he's sad when his food is depleted. He's eating off his food. He's like, man, that hamburger was really good. I wish I just had one more bite left. Right? A person, he eats and he eats and he eats, and sooner or later, he's going to have to stop eating. A person, they enjoy what they enjoy. They enjoy conversation with their family. Their family enjoys conversation with them. If you talk too long, you're going to get on somebody's nerves. Right? Al-hadith dhu shujun. And people talk about one thing, it leads to another topic, another subject, another subject. 2 hours later, you're like, cool story, bro, I gotta go. Right? Good conversation, jazakallahu khairah. But you can only talk for so long. You can only eat for so long. You can only spend time around your friends for so long, and these sorts of things. Anything, any type of enjoyment or thing that brings happiness from the things of this world, it gets old. It gets old. It is not something that always brings you happiness and always brings you contentment. As opposed to one's knowledge of Allah, one's knowing His Lord subhanahu wa ta'ala. It brings him happiness at every moment of his life. It is a basis for everything that he does and everything that he says and everything that he approves of and everything that he disapproves of. His love, his hope, and his fear is connected to it. Everything in his deen and his dunya is connected to this knowledge and this belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So there's nothing that is like it. A person may feel some happiness outside of that, but he goes from one type to another type of happiness. And that happiness, it goes from one person to another person. It goes from one person to another person. He enjoys it, and then it's no longer his property. It's passed on to another person. Right? He was married to a woman. Something happened, it's no longer his wife. It's somebody else's wife. He enjoys the company of his children. They grow up and they go to the companionship of another person. Some person who was a stranger that you didn't know while your children were young. Now that's their husband or that's their wife or so on and so forth. And they have the bulk of that person's attention and time and so on and so forth. Whatever a person has of the dunya goes from one person to another person. He goes from one type of enjoyment to another type of enjoyment, but it's not something that is continuous and perpetual.